Hello, welcome again to another episode of Cool Discussions. This is Barry. I'm Chris. Welcome again.
Hello, good morning.
Today we're going to talk a little bit about being a nut job. A nut job? What's a nut job? Well, I don't know. It could be something. We're actually going to talk about conspiracies today. There's lots of them out there. There's always going to be conspiracies. There's going to be nut jobs walking around saying, if you don't wear tinfoil on your head, the aliens are going to control your brains. And...
Could it be real? Of course
Yeah.
It could be. There's so many scenarios out there that make you question, and I think there's a very fine line between a nut job and just somebody who's curious and likes to ask questions. I'm the type of person who likes to ask questions about things and likes to know both sides of every story. All sides. Cubes, circles, whatever, however many angles there are from a story. Obviously you got the 9/11. We're not going to touch on that because that's like talked to death all over the YouTube. But there's people who, think about that, and there's other stuff. There's tons of theories and conspiracies out there who it's possible. I think it is 100% possible that there's puppet masters out there, and there's people who pull the right strings. And
so about people pulling the right strings. Now, one of the ones that me and some guys at work have actually talked about is that mass shootings in the United States are a way for the government, and they're the ones who actually plan these things out so that they happen, so that the government can enact gun laws and take away firearms from citizens. Now,
why would the government want to take firearms from the citizens? Why would they want to do that?
So they have an easily docile population
that's right.
to control.
Because they want us to be dumb lemmings that'll follow them off the cliff. Which so many people are. People who go to the voting polls and check the box. You're just lemmings, just doing the same thing over and over, insanity, expecting different results. But I digress.
No, and we have talked about this before in some of our politics ones.
That's right.
So
Go check them out on the YouTube channel.
Yep. But yeah, it's one of those things you hear, and it's a horrible thing to think that government would be so callous that they could shoot their own citizens just so they can...
Especially young children. Like if there's for the Sandy Hook, right? Elementary school, you got young kids.
Yeah.
And somebody's going in, and if this was set up by some sort of government or anything, then you need to, the person who did this, number one, was crazy. Okay, and I think you have to ask yourself is, out of all these, mass shootings of any kind of thing like that, how many times does a person actually come out and survive? Very rarely.
Very rarely
so now,
these shooters survive.
So either they shoot themselves or they're shot by the authorities on scene, and it's so now we don't know. Now we don't know his motives. And then after that happens, there's so many things that come out, and it's this person was this person was this person was this, and it's but that happens after death. You always
but yeah. When once hindsight's 20/20,
just
right?
clear your browser history. You get your best friend to clear your browser history.
Yeah,
delete your computer.
Okay,
magnets
into it. Yeah.
Come on.
But yeah, no. Some of these people show up on Facebook, on Twitter, or Instagram, posting, themselves selfies with Confederate flags and rifles or guns or things like that. What was it? The guy who did the shooting, the Batman shooter. His house was actually rigged to blow. It was booby-trapped. Police actually had to go in through a window, disarm things, because it was actually rigged, and if people had gone in through the door, it went boom, and more death and casualty that way. That guy survived, actually. That guy did survive.
Oh, yeah, that crazy-looking kid, eh?
Yeah, so he's gone through court, I think, and it was...
but he was, insane or something.
Yeah,
insane.
And that's another thing, too. So... just in the conspiracy aspect, having somebody not survive lends credibility to a conspiracy because you can say, oh, the guy didn't survive, and all this stuff is on. You
There's just so many-
can't hear from him himself.
There's so many questions in a lot of like these situations, and you go, how come we don't have definitive answers? How come we don't have answers that make sense? And it's like, is this the way it always is? Is it always like, oh, there's always going to be the unknown? There's always going to be, and it's like, what does it do? What's the first thing that happens after a mass shooting? People call for harsher gun control.
Yep. So
Number one.
right there. So if the government is involved, they want this to happen so people will be on board for gun control in the States, so people don't have access to weapons. Now, the conspiracy is this: if government is behind these mass shootings, how do they do it? Well, they get actors involved. So they have, at the Sandy Hook, it was stated that, all the parents of the kids that died there, they moved out. They basically disappeared
Didn't
off
they,
their
like,
radar.
Demolish the school?
Yeah, they demolished the
Yeah.
school as well. But the kids, so the parents all get up and leave. You know, they don't want to live in that hometown, right? Parents leave. What's said is that nobody actually died there. It was all staged. All the kids in the families lived together under different identities someplace else. Everything was staged, and people have shown proof about this by showing that there is a set family of actors that go to different shootings and do interviews with local television sites. So that, it's like, oh, grieving mother, my kid died, and somebody actually showed side-by-side comparisons of 3 of these interview peoples from the Sandy Hook one and from 2 other shootings. And if you look, and to me, they look similar. I know you could just easily say, oh, somebody looks like somebody, right? But when you have 3 side-by-sides and 3 different dates, 3 different areas of the country, and they all look alike, that lends credibility to.
Yeah, definitely it could. There obviously there are possibilities that there's some other entity behind these type of things, because really, if you're mentally unstable, how much credit can you really give somebody to plan something like this?
No,
You know what I mean? Without somebody raising an eyebrow and going, why is this person buying a bunch of guns?
Well, most of these people
You know?
already have guns,
And it's
and that's the big thing in the States, is they already have the guns. They want to take them away.
Right.
So if there's a conspiracy, it means that somebody's behind it. Now, we'll throw out a word: the Illuminati. I'm sure you guys have heard that, or the stonemasons, for that matter. Shadow organizations that run big business, run the government, and things like that. So, these shadow organizations run things so that.
I don't know if it's such a shadow. I think there are people who have obviously bigger pull than in this world, and it's not like our governments. Our governments are nothing. It's like there's a lot of corporations out there that have pull, and it's
A good example of this is the central banks. The central banks are a banking organization that lend money to the world governments. Now, supposedly, this central bank is owned by one family. Now, this one family would be then estimated to be worth $500 trillion.
See, that's the thing that gets me. I did a little bit of research into like government salaries, government tax returns, and stuff like that. Right now, these are all employees of ours. Supposedly, we pay. They earn tax. Their pay is from tax dollars, right? So, in my mind, I should be able to go on the internet. Prime Minister of Canada income tax return 2015, and it should just pop up, and I should be able to view it. Right, obviously there has to be some personal information blocked out, like versus social insurance numbers and stuff like that. But everything else should be public. You know, if there is a world bank that lends money, you know, if there is a bank that lends money to a government, I should be able to have access to how much money we're borrowing from that bank.
Because it's called the federal budget.
Yeah, but you can't. But you can't just go online and find, you know, where all this money is going. They give you a package that they've made. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, come on.
Well, no. Okay,
where are your expenditures? Where are your?
Okay, we can't access the central bank's ones, but we can do the federal one, like federal, provincial, city ones. We can't actually. City ones, or at least the Calgary one, is really hidden in secrecy.
They're all hidden.
No,
most of them are, okay, the federal one was fairly easy.
Federal and provincial ones, they papers break them down, news sites break them down about, you know, this much is being paid to interest, this much is being paid to salaries, this one's being paid for capital expenses, this one's done for this.
We're digressing onto something completely different.
Yeah, I know. But, okay, so the central bank, you know, lends money to the world governments. Now, what was it? I'll give, for you guys who have interest, Anonymous, the hacker group, the online hacker group, does actually have a Facebook page. You can go to their Facebook page, and they have all kinds of short little videos about these types of conspiracies. Now, my buddy, he showed me this one about the central bank, and he said the central bank, lends money to the world, so effectively they own the governments of the world, because all governments are in a deficit. None of the governments make money, so they always have to borrow money. Yeah. And, you know, if you're a lender, you technically own that person until they pay you back. So, they were saying that there are six countries that were not part of the central banking system. They were North Korea. There was Iraq, Sudan, Libya, and two others.
I'm not at war with these people.
Yeah.
Aren't we at some sort of, like, conflict with these countries?
He caught on. So, because these people were not part of the central banking system, the governments were twisted or made to puppet master strings to invade these places so that they could become part of the central bank.
So they could place a government in place to...
Libya and Sudan were put under police protection of the UN. So they went there, they replaced the government, and they instilled, we're there to help the people out, give them food stuff. I'm sure that's what they needed, but at the same time, you replace the old regimes, and voila, you now have people that are...
You are the puppet master of that country.
Yeah, you're the puppet master, and all of a sudden now you're part of the central bank. Iraq was invaded. Afghanistan was the other one. Iraq and Afghanistan were both invaded by the U.S., and now they're part of the central bank. The ones that aren't are Iran and North Korea, I think.
It'd be really interesting to know how you become part of, if there is, like, the Illuminati. Like, how do you become part of it?
True.
You know what I mean? Could I just go online, send in my application, and be like, hey, I'm a power-hungry motherfucker, and I'd like to be part of your group. Yeah, email me back at coolldiscussions@gmail.com. Boom.
There we go. This is our application. We figured this stuff out.
That's right.
Let us in. But, okay, my counterpoint to this whole thing is, if there really is this one world government, and this family is worth $500 trillion, they can do whatever they want. Why do they need to rule the world? They don't. If they're worth $500 trillion, that is enough money to pay off the entire debt of the world and then some. He could fund an expedition to another star system and still have tons of money left over.
I don't know if it's such a weird thing, because when you hear these things, obviously when you look at videos or read stories or see documentaries, they're all geared in the aspect of how they want you to believe.
Very true.
So when you watch a video on a conspiracy theory, they give you all the points to make you go, "Oh, you're right," not the counterpoints and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
exactly. So when people do that, I noticed this one about here. I'm going to go against you. One of the anonymous videos was about 9/11, and they said the plane that hit the Pentagon. They did a whole bunch of stuff, and one of the big things was there was no wreckage of the plane after it hit the Pentagon.
Yeah.
Well, I actually looked to see what was going on, because it's like, oh yeah, that sounds a little fishy, right? Well, one of the first pictures I see, plane wreckage on the grounds of the Pentagon. I was like, really?
Yeah.
I took 5 minutes. It took me longer to type in why did.
Sometimes I wish that people would do like extensive searches on your favorite sports team, your favorite actor, actress, your favorite athlete, and you know so much about these people. And sometimes I wish people would take that time to do that with like governments, corporations, stuff like that. Because those are the important things that we need to focus on. And it's just, it does kind of play into you're keeping your society docile, and the lemming, hey, look at the distraction over here in Justin Bieber and all these crazy wacko celebrities, the Kardashians. Because over here, we're taking your money. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But...
this isn't part of a conspiracy, but it's like when the NDP government... Whoa, you stop this. The NDP government, when they handed out their budget this a couple weeks ago,
they went like this. Look over here. They went, look at this, and they went, what?
No, they were actually high-fiving each other. After the finance minister delivered his budget, the premier of Alberta went up to him and high-fived him, and he high-fived her back, and they were all happy like they had done something good. No, they hadn't done something good at all. Now, what was in my research, I found something really weird. Top 10, top 10 stuff shows up all the time whenever you look, right? And I'm always curious about what people's idea of what top 10 is, right? So I went, and it's like top 10 conspiracies throughout time.
I think I've seen some YouTube clips on this.
Oh, I hope they're different than mine.
I don't remember them.
What really surprised me was just how modern all of them were.
Well, you think about it, right? When you think about the technology that we as simple citizens have, right? I have the ability to track somebody with my own phone.
Yeah.
Simple login, if you know, boom, you know where they are.
For those
you can send your location to somebody else. You can find people. When you meet somebody, the first thing a lot of people do is they go on Facebook and go, let's check this person out. And then, okay, I like this person, friend. That's like the new, hey, I'm when you start a job, that's like the new thing, Oh, you're friends with Facebook on me. That means you like me. And it's like, so think about the technology that we have as simple citizens. Now, multiply that probably by 10, maybe even 100 for military and government. So just imagine what they could pull off if they really had to.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They have access to all your information. Don't kid yourself. Don't kid yourself. They know what you're doing. They do. They could follow you wherever you want to be.
Counterpoint to that is this: if they know what you're doing, they would be able to stop shooters.
But that comes back to the whole, then something is behind it. Because that's exactly right. How come you can sit there and be like, oh yeah, we can find this person. You some criminals they find, bam, right quick. And you're like, man, that was quick. How did you find that person so quick? And other ones, it's like, we can't find this person.
True. It took them
how
long to find Osama bin Laden?
Yeah, they didn't even find him. Come on.
Well,
some random body they threw in the ocean.
And there you go. There's something else.
Come on.
But okay, so on this top 10 site, I was really surprised just how modern all these conspiracy theories were. Like out of the 10, I think seven of them were from the past 15 years.
Obviously, 9/11 is the big one. Everybody thinks that.
9/11 is the big one.
Then you got the JFK assassination.
Yeah.
The moon landing. People think that was a hoax.
Yeah, and it was really great because there was a great show on TV called MythBusters.
Yeah.
And they actually did an episode
Didn't they
about
bust
the moon.
that?
Yeah, about the moon landing. They're like, people are like, oh, how is somebody supposed to get pictures that look like that? And what they did was actually built a set. They put everything in place, and they took a photo, and it was exactly like the photo they had from there, with the correct amount of light sources.
Isn't that an interesting question though? Like with the camera technology we have,
Yeah.
how do we still get pixelated crap? Like when you watch like any kind of thing that happens, and then there's somebody got it on film, and it's like, what?
Oh,
I can barely see it. It's pixelated.
Yeah,
what kind of phone do you have? Like a 1980 phone?
Yeah, that was an internet thing. It was like, with all the advanced smartphones that we have, why whenever we take photos of UFOs, they're like using something from 1985, and it's like,
here's a little tip. I'm going to give you a little tip. When you're recording stuff, don't hold your phone like this. Go like this. Bam! There you go. You're going to get a much better picture. It's going to come out a lot better. And try to not do this. Like you got Parkinson's or something when you're recording stuff. Because this is what I see. Oh, look at the UFO. Holy crap. Holy crap. Oh, look, it's a Yeti. Oh, it's Bigfoot. Oh, it's like, that looks like a tree, actually, that you're just shaking your phone really good at. You know? Like, if I saw Bigfoot, yeah, I'd be scared shitless. I would be absolutely terrified. But I'd be like, while I'm here, I might as well try to get a good picture of him.
no kidding.
You know, let's get some proof.
That would be worth if you got a real photo of Bigfoot.
You know,
or a
it's just,
Yeti.
Like, it's just weird.
Yeah,
It's just weird.
And that's why conspiracies are so intriguing. Is there's such a all you need is a little grain of truth to go into something, and it sticks with you. Like the JFK assassination. The big deal about that was it was a second shooter on the grassy knoll that took him out instead of the one in the building. And it's like, wow.
Wasn't he a president that was like going to be like pretty much change the world?
He was trying to change the world.
He was gonna change it to a direction that wasn't like today. Like today is like very, to me it feels very controlled and very, I don't feel very free. Okay, so a good example of what you're talking about is a book called 1985.
Orwell, Mr. Orwell, I forgot his first name, sorry. He wrote a book called 1985. Now, if you read the book and actually compare it to today's society, you would almost think he was writing about the future, which he kind of was. He was writing about a totalitarian future where everybody is monitored, everybody is watched, everybody is controlled to a point, okay? Because obviously if you go nuts one day, they can't really do anything, but they can limit how you go nuts. Well, a good example of that is in Canada, if you go nuts, you have to do it with a knife. In the States, if you go nuts, you can do it with a rifle.
Yeah.
Okay. He wrote about, CCT, closed circuit television, the cameras everywhere, every street corner, in your house, phones being tapped and monitored all the time. All those things, and you know what? We have all that stuff nowadays, but we think it's cool to have a camera. It's awesome to have cameras in our house. Look at me. Look at my house. There's people showing this stuff off, and it's like 1985. It was supposed to be a bad thing, but now we tote it around as, oh, look at this. I got a camera in my house. Woo!
I'm posting that I'm away from my house for 2 weeks on Facebook, and now Look at all my cool stuff that I have pictures of.
Yeah.
And now I can come and steal it. And it's like, oh, wow.
Well, it was kind of weird. Police did a warning actually in the paper the other day saying, put a password on your cameras.
Yeah, because people can hack into your Wi-Fi and just look at your cameras and watch you. You know what I mean? And it's
apparently there was live feeds from Calgary. Because there's this app you can go to watch people's live feeds.
Oh my goodness, that's weird.
People do this on purpose, but then there are the ones that aren't on purpose, and some of them were in Calgary, and people didn't know that they were being...
That's weird.
Doing Big Brother Live.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I do think that there are some things out there that make you go, I wonder. And I think that when you question too much, when you question the wrong people, I'm not going to say that you're going to get murdered. I'm not going there. But I think you're looked at as a quack. You're looked at as a little bit mentally unstable yourself because you ask a lot of questions and you don't follow the same systematic life that everybody else does. You know, like myself, I don't vote. I look at it and I think that we should abolish all government that we have right now and start from scratch. I think we need to do a different system. I think we need to... Our world is so dynamic and has changed. It's so fluid and changing all the time. I think we just need to... We're using systems that are hundreds of years old. And...
We've argued this before.
And it's like... So...
I do actually have an example.
I know that I'm looked at differently. Because I have been pretty much shamed when I told somebody I didn't vote, and I was like, okay, whatever. I have my reasons. And apparently, somebody, Anderson Cooper from CNN, you know him, right?
Yep.
He's not voting.
Oh, really?
So,
interesting.
Apparently he knows something we all don't. And I've been on that boat for a long time, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, I have an example of something like that. So, a friend of a friend of a friend type deal. I guess he successfully argued in court that his student loan wasn't borrowed from actual money and that it was only his signature that they had wanted. He successfully argued that case, got his student loan null and void, but he's been blacklisted, and now he can't get a passport. He can't get loans. He can't be
a citizen,
right? And I played devil's advocate. It's like, well, he wasn't willing to play by the rules of the game, so he got kicked out of the game.
That's what I mean. Like that. That's what I mean. Like, well, whose game are we in? Tell me.
But from right there, whose game are we in? You want to say the government's. Well, true, but
who are they to tell me how to run my life?
The people we vote in.
Whoa. Whoa. I didn't vote them in. You didn't vote this government in.
No, I voted for the opposition.
You know what I mean? And it's like, if we live free, and this is, I guess, could be considered conspiracy because of maybe that's how maybe I'm a quack. I don't know, but apparently we're free to do what we please, but yet I don't think we're free. I'm not free to travel wherever I want, whenever I want. I can't just go to the airport right now and go, I'm going to go to Las Vegas right now. I would get questioned like you wouldn't believe. If I had no bags, if I had nothing, they'd be like, why are you going to Vegas? Spontaneous trip. Why? How much money do you have in your bank account? How much is this? What's this? What? And it's like, whoa.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of true. If you watch shows like Border Patrol, they show it to them all. They show these type of things happening all the time. People come and it's like, well, you don't have a lot of money in your bank. Well, I was kind of just hoping to wing it. It's like, you're not allowed to get a job unless you have a visa.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're not allowed.
You're not allowed to do that. It's like, so okay, I'm not a very free human being because I should be able to come to any place I want, and if I work for you, I should be able to negotiate with you any kind of agreement between you and I for me to do work for you.
Yeah, no.
And it shouldn't be, hold on, we got to legislate this, we got to govern this, we got to do this and stuff like that. And that's kind of like I guess I'm a conspiracy theorist, if that's a word, because that's what I believe. I believe that I truly believe that the government wants you just to be a lemming and go off. Just follow them off the cliff, and it's like when you're standing over here and going, stop, hold on, wait.
But because the masses are keep going forward, you're kind of dragged with them. Now, another example of this is that I've heard numerous times that that there is a mix of chemicals in our foods and water that when if you eat brand A, B, and C and drink water D, it gives you a chemical compound that makes you a sheep. Makes you calm and easier to control. It's like taking any kind of antidepressant, I guess. Any one of those types of drugs. But they put it in our food and water so they can get the whole population. Now, obviously, you can't get the whole population all at once. You have to, and that's why brands, are a big push to, you're going to drink this brand or you're going to drink that brand. So there's
a lot of things out there that make you question, and my theory is that you should question. Ask questions. Don't be scared to ask questions. Don't feel like you just have to fall in line. If you look at something and it doesn't seem right to you and you go, hold on, like,
trust your gut.
Yeah, because you are in control of your own life, and
as much as we like to think we are, as much as we can, we are, because as much as we fight it, we do have to. We are in a society we are in today. We have to work. We have to earn money. We have to pay bills. We can't do anything about it until there's some sort of revolution. I know he would be on the bandwagon for that. And then right back full circle. Government's taking away our guns, so we can't have revolutions. So nothing like what happened in France during the French Revolution takes place anywhere else, so they kick out the big government.
That's right.
Follow us on Twitter.
Yeah. Tweet.
Yeah, we have a Twitter.
Follow us on the Facebook, like us.
Yeah, give us a comment.
Give us the poopy man.
Give us the old man.
Yeah, give us the old man. Yeah. Subscribe on the YouTubes, because this is where we post our videos. Bam, bam, that's where we spam our shit.
Yeah, you can listen to us on iTunes
that's correct.
as well, in case you're just taking a bus ride and need something interesting.
Just in case you don't want to look at our ugly mugs.
Yeah,
that's cool.
We're not.
That's cool too, if you just want to hear our...
That's why the cool stuff in the background.
Yeah,
so you don't have to look at us.
That's right. You want to hear our cool voices, then you can listen to us on a podcast. And, comment. Tell us what you think about it.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave messages so that we can have a conversation with you and you can have a conversation with us.
Goodbye, everybody.
Talk to you later.